Sunset Surf.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley. You know, a surfer goes into competition in the company of only one good close friend. This single piece of equipment, the surfboard. A lot of every surfer's life is wrapped up in his board. And the member of the ABC commentary staff who certainly knows the most about this element of our culture and the most about water is Mark Spitz. Mark, there have been a lot of changes in the board in recent years.
Well, most definitely, Jim. Of course, we're looking here at a 7-foot board. Boards used to be 10 feet in size. We're also seeing a lot of technique in the tail section for more maneuverability on the waves.
What will we be seeing today that'll show us how this has changed the sport?
We'll see surfers like this, maneuvering back and forth on the wave, staying in the most critical part. But what makes this all possible is a skag, a rudder-like device on the underside of the board, which is adjustable. This allows the surfer to adjust his own board for the best balance on the wave.
We're just a few moments away now from the start of the competition. 5 judges will be perched here on the beach watching the surfers as they catch each wave. The general rule of surf meet scoring is that the surfer who rides the largest wave, the farthest distance, in the most critical section of the wave, with the most control, will receive the highest score on a scale from 1 to 20. Now, they can only ride a limited number of waves within the time period set up for the competition, so each one is important. A little earlier, we filmed a look at the 8 men in the competition. This is Larry Bertlemann, 27 years old, from Honolulu, Hawaii. He won this competition in 1974. This is Michael Ho. He's 19, from Honolulu, and he was runner-up last year in the Duke. Peter Townend, 23 years old, from New South Wales, Australia. Ian Cairns, he's 24 years old, from Perth in Western Australia, the defending champion. Michael Peterson, 23 years old, from Coolangatta, Australia, and we'll be telling you more about the Australians later. Barry Kaniapuni, from here on the island of Oahu at 30, he's the real veteran of the competition. James Jones, 24, from Honolulu, he's one of the favorites. He knows this sunset surf. And the only South African in the competition, 22-year-old Jonathan Parman, he's from Johannesburg. These 8 competitors survived a series of preliminary heats to get into this competition. Our helicopter, hovering over them in the lineup as they select their waves, will also have a camera right there in the water on the same level as the surfers. And now the competition has begun. The green flag up, and here they go. This surf is about 8 to 10 feet in height, perfect size for this kind of competition. And already James Jones is up.
Nice bottom turn. He's moved out real quick. I think he's standing up a little too much, not enough speed. Wipeout.
Looked as though the wave closed out more quickly than he thought it would.
Well, I think it walled up a little bit. A little too steep. He didn't have enough speed.
This is Peter Townend from Australia.
Nice speed. Got to move back up to the top of the wave now. Cuts back.
He'll try to stay as close as possible to the critical section of the wave, the place where it's breaking.
He's got the back of his board staying in that white water, not allowing it to get caught up and get wiped out. There he's had a little difficulty, but staying on his board nicely.
Great ride from Peter Townend. Let's have another look at it in slow motion.
The Australian surfers here exhibit a tremendous amount of grace and style, staying in the most critical part of the wave. And here Peter exhibits just that, staying loose and low and nice and relaxed.
Most surfers would have to jerk the board around in waves this size, but Townend is smooth as silk. And you can see the long, extended ride that Sunset provides, a great showcase for surfing talent. 8 of the best surfers in the world, the Duke Kahanamoku Surfing Classic, Sunset Beach on the north shore of Oahu in the Hawaiian Islands. We'll be back for more of the competition in just a moment. You've got to be a dedicated fan to come to a surfing event. They can't be regularly scheduled far in advance. You have to wait for the day when the surf is up. Today we're blessed with ideal conditions. Michael Ho from Hawaii on this wave.
Michael seems to be a little bit too far out in front of the critical part of the wave. That's the white water crashing down behind him. He's going to have to stall out a little bit, and there he does, just that. But now the wave looks like it's a little bit smaller, and he's going to have to cut out, and, well, he fell off his board there.
Ian Cairns, the defending champion, one of 3 Australians in the competition. It's kind of an intramural competition between the Hawaiians and the Australians. Everyone surfs for himself, but the Hawaiians will tell you they don't like to see Australians win. And Cairns goes down. He's not off to a great start after having won this competition a year ago.
And here's Michael Michael Peterson up on the next wave. A lot of whitewater chasing him there. He's going to have to scoot in front of that to get up into the critical part of this wave. But now he's lost it. He's moving around, and that means nothing to the judges. There's no wave there. You can see he cuts out.
Back outside, here's James Jones.
Nice takeoff. Steep wave, critical part now. He's moving down really nicely. Really difficult to judge what wave's going to be a nice one out there when it's in a swell form. But here it looks like, well, the wave's petering out a little bit.
Now this becomes a test of Jones's ability to work the wave a little bit, try to impress the judges. He's going to dance a little bit, just like Peterson did before. Might score some points in a disco with those moves, but not here.
It's difficult to stay on a wave when it's going that slow, and that's one of the reasons they make those small moves. But here up on a board now on the next wave, Larry Bertlemann, and he just tried to avoid one of the body surfers out there, and here he is in tons of whitewater.
He's like skiing out of an avalanche.
8 to 10 feet. It's non-controllable right now. It's just trying to stay on the board. There he cuts out.
Amazing how rapidly the surf conditions can change. It was smooth a few minutes ago. Right now it's very choppy. Now that's Barry Kaniapuni and Jonathan Parman taking off at the same time. Kaniapuni backs off, and this is Parman's wave.
There could have been an infringement on the rule there. It's the surfer who stands up first who has the right-of-way on that wave. Not necessarily the one who has the inside position, but from what it looks like here in a repeat, it was Parman who had the right-of-way on the blue trunks there, surfing in the whitewater.
Difficult decision for Barry Kaniapuni to have to make to back off of that wave. And now Parman ducks out the backside. Very, very difficult surf. Now let's have another look at the ride that James Jones took a few moments ago.
Jim has been surfing well earlier in the competition, and he should be high in the point standings. Here, he's picked a smaller wave, a little bit more difficult for him to surf, and he's a very strong surfer, and on a larger wave, he looks a lot smoother, and here he's just trying to milk everything he can out of this little wave.
Gorgeous day here in Hawaii, about 80 degrees. This is certainly one of the most pleasant of all spectator sports. That's Barry Kaniapuni on the right.
He's tucked down almost in a pipeline type of a wave, Jim. He's starting to move out real nicely there. Staying in that nice, steep part of the wave, cutting back, looking really nice. Bottom turn. See how graceful he looks?
Wipeout. Well, at least we can say it was a graceful fall, Mark. Now, as we look at that wave again from our helicopter, a perfect example of 4 surfers taking off on the same wave at the same time. Closest to the camera is Barry the K, Barry Kaniapuni, who will come along the wave toward us.
You can get an idea of just how powerful this wave is. You'll notice the other surfers are having to prone out to get away from its destructive power. And here, Barry, staying in that steep part. Whitewater just behind him, moving around, flexing that board back and forth.
The wave represents literally tons of water. It's an awesomely powerful force. And just at this point, Barry can see the wave closing out ahead of him, and it's all over. So we're about midway through the competition here at the Duke Kahanamoku Surfing Classic, and we'll be back for more. But right now, let's go to an event we had originally planned to show you last week on ABC's Wide World of Sports. In Toronto, Canada, here's Keith Jackson. Jim Lampley, along with Mark Spitz, back at Sunset Beach. We're in the final stages of this competition. There is pressure. Each wave counts. And this is James Jones, who is almost certainly one of our leaders at this point. He's been surfing well all day.
Jim is trying to find a wave here so he can score a lot of high points, but this one seems a little bit smaller than he's accustomed to surfing on.
Remember that 5 judges are scoring each surfer on the amount of time they spend on the wave and what they're able to do with it. The key is to stay as long as possible in what they call the critical section of the wave, the place where it's breaking. This is Larry Bertlemann. He's had a little bit of tough luck with the waves, but overall a pretty good day, and he's a good start on this one.
Nice wave, Jim. He's moving out very fast here. He's got to have to crouch, as you saw, to get speed, to get ahead of this whitewater. Now he cuts back for some reason out of the wave.
Next up is Michael